Our Vikings coverage from the NFL Combine continues. I am alongside NFL Network's Charles Davis. And Charles, this is your time to shine. We get to talk about all the prospects. We get to talk about all the draft. When you look at the Vikings and their areas of need, where do you think they should target when they go to the draft?
It's interesting you should ask, because I spent a little time trying to figure out where people should have. And I don't know if it's right, but I actually brought notes here, right? So I'm looking on the defensive side. I think the corners. I think defensive tackle. On the offense, it's even the safety position, although most people say they don't prioritize it. Safeties are valuable in this league. Every time you watch, that's why I'm so crazy about Harrison Smith. I mean, what he has done in his career. And then the offensive side of the ball, can you get a runner, right? And can the interior offensive line be fortified a little bit?
I think a running back is an interesting position in this year's
Loaded.
draft. Yeah. How would you describe the way that they are in this year's draft?
Loaded, absolutely loaded running back class to me in terms of depth and quality. I know Ashton Jeanty is the guy, and rightly so. But we're talking about, is Omarion Hampton from North Carolina potentially a first-round pick? Is Travion Henderson from Ohio State a first-round pick? Where's Quinshawn Judkins work in there from Ohio State? And it just keeps going. Every time I turn around, I see people I like. There's this kid at Delaware named Marcus Yarns, who's not going to be a high draft pick.
Okay.
But I think he's a quality football player. I think that, someone's going to go ahead and grab him, maybe day 3, which is rounds 4 through 7, and they're going to be thrilled to have him. Terrific player, played at Delaware, and I watched him at the Senior Bowl, and I couldn't take my eyes off of him.
Really?
So just one of those players that you just watch. Am I saying he's better than Ashton Jeanty? No, I'm not saying that. Is it better? No, I'm not saying that. But when I watch him, I was like, yes, he can be a quality player in this league.
So you talk about those later rounds, and the Vikings have 2 5th-round picks in this one as of right now. As we head into things, things can change.
Sure.
However, when you go there, if running back is an option, what is another position they can get a value in the later rounds of the draft?
Oh, I think anything big, offensive line, defensive line. My colleague Daniel Jeremiah has called this a meat and potatoes draft, and I think that he is right, and I think that's a great way to describe it. I'm not going to try and change what he said because I think he's nailed it. I think you can go deep into this draft and find people who can flat out play, and I think the way the league has gone, the projection of, is this guy a tackle or is he a guard? Is he a guard or is he a center? Or is he both? Can I move that guy from here to here and make him work in my system? I think we're going to see a lot more of that as we go on, too.
It's interesting you mentioned that because Kevin O'Connell spoke about the versatility of these offensive linemen in this draft in particular. What makes them stand out this year?
I think that what we're getting is we know that players are better trained than ever. We know that the nutrition's better than ever. But the football knowledge is better than ever. You remember, it wasn't that long ago, you'd hear about wide receivers have their own personal coach and quarterbacks have their own personal coach. Offensive linemen have their own personal coaches.
Yeah.
People get after it now. And a good number of defensive linemen, if it's not going great there, or maybe they're better, suited mentally to play on the offensive side, because some guys, just their mindset is better off, they'll flip over. And we're seeing a lot of that, too, which is really kind of cool. And I will say, anytime I see a kid who's a wrestler.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
We have a couple on our team.
Right? We always want to check out those wrestlers because those guys are the leverage, the center of gravity. But really that, I don't like to lose one-on-one type of mentality.
An area of need that I've heard from a lot of experts and people who are here at the Combine, in their opinion, is the interior defensive line for the Vikings. What are the defensive tackles looking like in this league? Can you find that value in the draft?
Yes, I think that you can. And look, at the top of the food chain would be like a Mason Grant.
Okay.
I'm just going to Mason Graham from Michigan. He is exceptional player, but he plays next to a guy named Charles Grant. All right, another kid named Grant. I don't think it's Charles.
Okay,
but also plays next to him at Michigan. He's a really good player too.
Yeah.
I was watching tape on them a few days ago, and I was like, I'm seeing violence from these guys. I'm seeing the ability to move. They're not just taking you and just throwing you to the side. Deion Walker, I believe, from Kentucky. If I can find it here in my notes. But anyway, massive kid, 330, 340 pounds. Watched him at the Senior Bowl. Not just bull rushing people as you would expect, throwing spin moves on people, right? They're getting them upfield, getting them off balance, cutting back inside. His numbers are not going to be great. You're not going to see, multiple sacks and all that. But boy, does he clog up a lane, and then he'll run out in the open field and run someone down and make a play. To me, he kind of shows what a lot of these defensive linemen are going to be like coming in this draft.
Sounds like somebody that Brian Flores would love to get his hands on.
Oh, absolutely. I would think so. And I'm going to give you one. Tonka Hemingway from South Carolina.
Okay.
If you get a chance to watch his highlight tapes, do it, because they often use him at Wildcat quarterback.
Interesting.
But when he catches it and goes, he's not just plowing into the line. I've seen him put moves on people, jump cut, make plays, catch the ball in the backfield. So the athleticism is really there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Charles. It's
Thank
big
you.
weekend for you. We appreciate your insight. I'm sure we'll talk again. And the draft is.
I look forward to it, and by then I should have everyone's name down pat.
Oh, again, as I've said to literally everyone I've talked to here, I do not know how you keep track of all the names. It is a gift.
Listen, you do it as well.
Thank you so much.